step back. I'm mad that when I come down straight, I thought you were my piece, but you played me out. Now I'm mad as hell, and I'm full of doubt. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. I'm back on the scene, it's time to get mean. I'm a lean revolution machine. For what people stay, they sway. For today is good as any day. You'll feel slightly this, let's resist. Raise your fist and pump like this. Promises all the time. Don't cross the line, but you know it's mine. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll.
All right. From the Mad Hatter Dispensary in Avenel, New Jersey, it's the Ignorance is No Excuse podcast with Sue. Hi, Sue.
Hi, everybody.
Muted. Hi. What's happening in the world of cannabis?
The world of cannabis is
Well,
circling the drain, I swear to God.
Well, there's a GOP-led congressional panel demanding an investigation on Biden's marijuana rescheduling process, citing deviations and mental health hazards. Oh, boy. A key GOP-led House committee is asking for a review in a report attached to a large-scale spending bill for the 2026 fiscal year. The House Appropriations Committee included several sections focused on cannabis and hemp, while also encouraging further research into the therapeutic potential of psychedelics. The panel is set to vote on the bill and report language on Wednesday. But for cannabis activists and advocates, the report is troubling, with members stating that they're concerned about deviations from established drug scheduling evaluation standards. Wow. Under President Biden, the Department of Health and Human Services recommended to the DEA that cannabis be moved from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. And that process has since stalled out amid legal challenges from witnesses in the DEA administrative hearing procedure. I didn't know it was stalled out.
Yes. I've been posting articles about it.
I mean, I know it was stalled out, but I didn't know it was like intentionally stalled out. I just thought it was
no, it's intentional. It's intentional.
How? Why? How?
Why? How? Because I don't know. Because Because they're assholes. Look what they're doing in Los Angeles. Look what they're going to be doing here.
Well, here, maybe I'll have some information here. The committee directs the HHS Inspector General to complete a report on the scheduling review, not limited to deviations from the established 5-factor currently accepted medical use test, and a justification for a new 2-factor currently accepted medical use test, and whether this will be the standard for all future reviews. Oh boy, the flagged issues largely echo concerns raised by pro-business. Smart approaches to marijuana. Sam. Oh, concerns by Sam. We're listening to concerns from Sam. We're back to that crap again. And the language is consistent with an earlier version of the agriculture spending legislation that was not enacted. The committee is concerned about reports of the mental health hazards of regular use of high-potency cannabis, particularly among adolescents. The committee encourages the FDA to support research on high-potency cannabis and its effect on the adolescent brain, specifically regarding addiction and schizophrenia or psychosis.
Interesting.
The committee is concerned about deviations from established drug scheduling evaluation standards. The panel also talked about their problem with the proliferation of products marketed in violation of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, including products containing derivatives of the cannabis plant. Oh my God. So they want to ban all hemp items containing quantifiable amounts of THC. Now, I know a lot of patients that use hemp that swear by Delta 8, Delta 10, hemp, genetically modified hemp. Oh, here Johnny Trash says, it's the devil's lettuce to them, not medicine.
Well,
it's Satan's sensimilia.
Well, you know what? Even Schedule 3 will be kind of crazy. I don't know. I don't even see it going anywhere right now. Not with the present political climate we have.
Beelzebub's buds. Beelzebub. Beelzebud. It's Beelzebud.
Beelzebub.
Beelzebub. This is a crazy story here. So, the committee is aware that non-compliant products pose potential health and safety risks to consumers through misleading, unsubstantiated, and false claims that cannabis derivatives can treat serious and life-threatening diseases and conditions, including COVID and cancer. Well, why can't we say that? Doesn't it do that? Doesn't cannabis do all those things? False claims.
Yeah, and this is just the beginning, because that's what they're going to keep doing. They're going to keep smacking it down and smacking it down. And again, it's because of the present political climate that we're in. And until this administration is either voted out, or I don't know, however the heck they do it, we're going to have these kind of problems, because they're not very friendly about any of this.
They expect the FDA to take enforcement action against the manufacturers of any cannabis products marketed with unlawful therapeutic claims to preserve the integrity of the drug development and approval processes, which ensures products, including cannabis-containing products, marketed as drugs, have undergone a rigorous scientific evaluation.
You understand that Schedule 3 can only be dispensed by a pharmacist, right?
Yeah, that would change a lot of things here in New Jersey. That's for sure.
Yeah, what do you know? It's going to change any of the any of the recreational and medical states. It's going to change, because even if it's only medically recognized, you get your referral and you go to the dispensary, and then they help you out there. That's how it goes, But I don't know. It's going to be crazy if it ever happens. I'd like to see it happen in my lifetime, but I don't know. I'm starting to lose faith.
I'm starting to lose audio. I'm gonna try a different microphone. There we go. There we go. That sounds better, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. What the heck happened there?
I don't know. You didn't sound bad.
No,
It's just
something snapped and popped, and it just went from high fidelity to very low fidelity. So I'm gonna try this microphone here. Okay. We'll keep pushing on. The House Appropriations Subcommittee on Agricultural Rural Development stirring controversy over provisions to prohibit cannabis products containing any quantifiable amount of THC or any other cannabinoids that have similar effects or marketed to have similar effects on humans or animals as THC. Advocates have been putting pressure on Congress to dial back that language with hopes that lawmakers opt to pursue robust regulations to address their concerns rather than an outright criminalization. Yeah, you're criminalizing it and you're also taking jobs away from people. The committee recognizes the growing consumer demand for American-made hemp following the expanded legalization of hemp under the Agricultural Improvement Act. As the industry continues to expand to meet consumer demand, the committee acknowledges the need for clear science-based guidance to ensure product safety, consumer confidence, and regulatory clarity. Members are directing the FDA to create a task force with industry stakeholders, scientists, manufacturers, public health experts, academic researchers, and other relevant parties in the industrial hemp community.
They fired them all. How are they going to do that?
Yeah, they all lost their jobs this year. I don't know how they're going to do it.
Yeah, and then what's his name? Nixon, Kennedy. He just knocked out a few more today.
So, yeah, they want American-made hemp.
American-made.
American-made hemp.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Well, a lot of hemp is grown in China and Romania, Hungary. Those hemp bracelets that CMM&J has been giving away, they're from Hungary. Those bracelets are from Hungary.
I just gave away about 200 of them.
Yeah. Yeah, my friend had a whole container full of those things. From Hungary. They were going to grow it in China, but they decided Hungary was better.
Why?
I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe cheaper to do it there, better deals,
Hungary?
better than
Maybe.
dealing with the communists in Hungary too. I don't know. Maybe they are.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's about the weather, right? Isn't there more of a, Hungary's cold. I think
Yeah.
China has more acceptable areas.
So the USDA identifying programs that support the production and processing of plant-based fiber crops, such as cotton, hemp, flax, animal-based fibers such as wool, alpaca, leather, and then briefing appropriators within 100 days to bolster support for plant and animal-based fiber production and processing. Yes, so cotton has always been the enemy of hemp, has always been the competitor of hemp. It's not alcohol and tobacco. It's always been cotton.
Why is that?
Well, cotton was the main thing back in the 1600s, 1500s. It's all cotton, and hemp is they use a
But
lot
the
of hemp.
Constitution was written on hemp paper.
Yeah, I believe it was.
It was. What else does it say?
They want to encourage the FDA to work with the DoD on leveraging clinical trials to
Here we
improve our understanding of psychedelics, to work together, developing and supporting public-private collaborations to advance psychedelic research for therapeutic purposes.
I feel like they're pushing psychedelics, but they're pushing the psychedelics ahead of cannabis.
Yeah. Why?
Yet, why is that? Well, because probably this is just me talking. The wristbands are from Romania. Okay,
Yeah.
that's where the vampires are from too. Anyway, what were we saying? I'm having a moment right now.
Yeah, so am I.
Oh, the FDA and blah blah blah. And what did you say? What did you say?
I lost my train of thought.
Okay, we're both
And-
having those senior moments.
Kind of screwed up this week because of my friend Wayne passing, and I'm not thinking straight. And I said the other day to Jim, I said, I'm not doing this list anymore because I was just so distraught. And I didn't know what the hell I was talking about because you know what? We're going to keep doing this list. We're not going to stop
do the
list. But I was just so screwed up.
You were sad.
I'm still sad. I'm angry. I'm sad.
Yeah.
I'm every emotion. Every emotion, you name it.
How old
I'm there.
was Wayne? Was Wayne 83? Something
Yeah,
like that.
83.
God bless him.
83. Wait a minute. What? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wayne. You knew Wayne. Didn't you know Wayne?
Of course I know Wayne. I have
He's not-
pictures of him.
He's
Remember
not
when you were doing the radio station in the joint when the joint first opened?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all used to sit there.
No, he was younger than me. He's 54.
Wayne? 54? Really?
Yeah.
I thought he was 83 for some reason.
What?
That's crazy.
That's funny.
Let's see.
That's actually really funny.
Wayne Barini.
Why would you think he's
I don't know, because I read that somewhere or something. I don't know.
what?
Let's see.
That's
Oh, yeah, 54. Okay. He's 54. Okay, I'm sorry.
I needed that laugh. That's what I do. I go back and I watch Barini's videos now and I laugh because
Because
he
they were
made
funny.
me laugh. They're
Yeah.
funny. I loved hanging out with the guy. He was just a fun guy to be around.
You know what? He was very respectful to women. He really was.
Yeah, most of the time he was.
He
You
was.
should have heard him with me though. You should have heard him with me.
Oh, that's.
Hey, when the doors close, hey, we said a lot of stuff on the podcast that was pretty shocking and shock jock stuff. And that's when we started crying and snot coming out of our nose because that stuff was funny. We would just make each other laugh, saying inappropriate things together, and it was fun. I miss it. I was trying to get him back on the podcast this year since we moved to Mad Hatter, and sorry it never happened.
Yeah.
Really would have loved to have him back on. He had the best voice for radio. He had a deep voice like this. And he'd be, he be like Barry White on the radio, talking real deep like this. Yeah, baby. You eat it. You eat it. No, you eat it.
Tell me, what was the service like?
There was a lot of pictures. There was a couple of TVs with, the scrolling picture.
Right.
A lot of people were there.
Mhm.
They came out with a huge tray of joints at 420, blunts, sorry, 10-inch blunts at 420. Passed them around, and we all smoked blunts at 420.
Okay.
That was amazing, and we had a party in the parking lot, and a lot of people were there. A lot of people. It was packed. His family was there. Wayne didn't take too many things seriously, but a few things he took seriously were his family, his work, and God. He loved his family so much. That's all he used to talk about them all the time. If you ever watched his lives, that's all he would do was talk about it. He would always go meet his family. I think it was on a weekend on Sunday. He would go to Dunkin' Donuts, and he was like Uncle Dunkle, and bringing Dunkin' Donuts to the nieces and nephews.
That's very Italian.
Yeah, and they said that you can wear the Wayne Barini shirt, the Cannabis King shirt. So I have a white one that's cut off, and I wore it. I'm thinking, okay, I could let my hair down, look like a bum, whatever. No, all the Italians there, they had black Cannabis King shirts with the black jacket and the black pants and the black shoes, and I was like, oh, I am underdressed.
Yeah, we like that black thing, us Italians.
It looked cool. It was a T-shirt, Cannabis King black T-shirt, but the jacket and the slacks and I was like, oh, I should have rethought my outfit.
Aw.
Well, I know Wayne appreciates me showing up with my hair all frizzed out.
Of course he does.
Stupid purple Crocs. Come on. Well, how else would you want
Those are no good for your feet, right?
What?
I told you that before. Crocs
No.
are no good for your feet.
Stop
They're
it.
horrible.
Stop it.
Really, really not good for your feet.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. There's
Why?
nothing in them that gives you any kind of support. Okay.
I need comfort.
So why can't you switch to something else?
Like what? What can I slip into that would be slippery?
Uggs?
I can't slip
Uggs?
into Uggs. And what do you want
Yes,
me to
you
wear?
can.
They have Uggs like this? They have Uggs that look like this?
Well, you don't need to have those. You could go onto Bear Paw. There's a lot of other places.
But Uggs have
I-
fur. Uggs have
Crocs
fur.
are no good. I'm telling you this as a nurse. Crocs are no good for your feet,
But every nurse I know wears Crocs.
and they shouldn't be. I used to wear clogs and boxing boots.
Every nurse
That's what I
know.
wore. I wore boxing boots. I still have them.
What's up, Big Bear? Shelby in the house. Big Mo. Big Mo. Hello, Big Mo. Yeah, so we're going to have a big event here for Wayne on the 21st at the Mad Hatter. It's going to be a sesh, a big sesh. And we used to have secret seshes. This is not a secret sesh. This is a Cannabis King public sesh. If you knew the Cannabis King, come on out and sesh with us. We're going to have foot-long joints. We're going to have a lot of people, a lot of food. We're going to bring, the biggest thing is the food. We want everyone to bring food. We're going to order food. We're going to have a taco truck here. There'll be so much food here, you're not going to know what to do. We're going to have to bring like a bunch of Porta Johns in for you all to crap in, because it's going to be, you have to make room for more food. There's so much food here, you have to go out and crap, make room to come back and eat more food, because you're going to get stoned and you're going to smoke and you're going to want to eat more food. And it's going to be a cycle of smoking, eating, and shitting all day. Smoking, eating, shitting all day. Thank you.
Okay. How about like a pizza
Too
truck?
much? Was that too much? Yeah.
Pizza truck.
Let's call them up.
Taco truck, there's the joke right now, about Donald Trump, and his nickname is Taco. Right.
I love it.
So pizza truck.
Well, we already have a taco truck here.
Do you?
Yeah, it's here.
Yeah. Are they good?
Oh, it's amazing. It's like Latino food and Caribbean food.
Nice.
It's
Nice.
really good. Yeah, so
The
they're here
best
now.
tacos I ever had was in San Diego. There's this place in San Diego that you will wait online around the block for a taco. And that's all they have is you just go in, you order your tacos, and they give them to you, and that's it. But they make all kinds, and they're just so delicious.
I
Really
gotta
good.
I gotta go around and do taco reviews because in Newark you can go to La Pequeño Mexicano for the best tacos in Newark, or you can go to Bloomfield, Tacos Guerreros in Bloomfield, which is amazing. Where else did I have tacos that were good? You're in Jersey, man. You got tacos everywhere. Tacos and pizza.
Yes, we do.
You know they say you can't make everyone happy because you're not tacos or pizza. Well, tacos and pizza can make everybody happy. We can all agree on tacos and pizza. So that's what we should do: pizza, tacos, and what else? What else? What else would Barini want for his party? Tacos, pizza, and what else? Italian food, meatballs, lasagna. Okay, we'll have to have someone make a lasagna.
All right. I will sign up for the lasagna. I'll do the lasagna.
Oh, yes. We're going to have a lasagna. We're going to have a lasagna. Awesome. Okay, well, here's the deal. I started the podcast here in the Mad Hatter studio, and I really want to thank Mad Hatter for having us here. You can see how cool this thing is. You got the Mad Hatter building. You got the Mad Hatter building here. And this is the coolest little studio ever. We got our little cars here, and we do stuff. The only thing we can't do here is smoke weed. So I'm going to play a video and walk over to the tea house where I can smoke some weed. Now, we've never done this before on the podcast. This is the first time we've ever done this. So let's see if I can get this right the first time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a video of Wayne. It's Governor Christie.
Oh, I remember this.
You remember this one? Governor Christie on the beach in Bayonne. And Bayonne is really a beach, just so you know. It's the beginning of the Jersey Shore. People don't realize this, but Bayonne has a beautiful beach. It's the beginning of the Jersey Shore. My grandmother used to swim on the shores of the Bayonne beaches. So come to Bayonne and swim on the beach with me this year. I'm going to go swimming. I am. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to go and smoke weed in the tea house. I'm going to play this video, and hopefully when I get to the tea house, I can get online and join us back.
Okay.
So, all right, let's see if I can do this. Present.
You can do this.
I think I can. All right, so I'm going to share this.
Did you go vote today for governor?
I sure did.
It's not Bayhead. It's Bayonne. Oh, shit. And it's a beach, I guess. And I have it all to myself. It's all mine. All mine. Yeah. Got no fucking friends. My two friends, one's in the fucking White House. Ah, fuck, a condom just washed up. The other fucking friend I got, yeah, fuck. Oh, this ain't perfect. He's in the fucking slammer. He's in the big house. I can't even go on a real fucking beach. I gotta go to fucking Bayonne. Fucking Bayonne. This governor we got now, he doesn't even know how to do it. Doesn't even know how to shut it down so it could just be him on the beach by himself. He's taking my friends away from me. That's right. Legalize weed. How else you gonna get NJ Weedman to be your buddy, huh? If I only would have thought of that shit. Now Trump's in the White House. I'm not even getting this fucking McDonald's for him anymore. Jesus. I was a good water boy. I was a good water boy. Donnie, call me back. I was a good water boy. Cory Booker. He don't even like me. I heard he likes big guys, you know.
Out of jail. Don't nobody give a hell about me no more. Newspapers ain't writing about me.
They don't even like me on the fan. Jesus. I can't do sports radio. I can't do politics. The fuck can I do? There's a good donut. I like it.
Fucking Bayonne. I'll just sit back and chill here on the beach. By my damn self.
Even Jerry Jones canceled my fucking tickets. I'm not even a Cowboy fan no more.
I beat the system, beat the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office. I kicked Stephanie Katz's ass.
This new guy, you eat it.
My place is closed. Trump's president.
Fucking Murphy! Murphy!
My buddy's not the governor no more. Man, this is surreal.
Shit, who is that?
I miss my buddy. Man, every once in a while I used to meet up with Chris Christie and we used to just sit back and listen to the fan. I would smoke weed, eat his donuts.
Yo, this is fucking beach. Fuck's on my beach.
No, well,
The fuck?
it must be this weed. I can swear that's Chris Christie down there. It's not him. It's an illusion. I'm high.
Over here! Over here!
It looks. Get the fuck out of here. Yo!
Ex-Governor Christie!
Is that really you, Chris? Get the hell out of here. Shit, stepping on glasses. Yo, what the fuck? A dead crab in a condom. What the hell? Get the fuck out of here, man. What are you doing here,
Oh,
man?
what are you doing,
Let me
man?
go. Oh, get the hell out of here. I was smoking this good weed and thought I was hallucinated. And there you go with the munchie food again, man.
This is a party!
Dude, I was out. Actually, I had some bread here. I was going to break bread. I guess I can break bread with you. Wait, I don't know. Wait a minute. Break bread or break bread? What are you doing, man? Breaking
I'm not
bread or
the
you
governor
breaking-
no more.
You're not the go?
At least donuts taste much better.
So what's going on, man? Why are you on the beach? Yo, what happened there? Where was that beach at? What island? What place? Where were you on Long Island? They took the drone, took a picture of somebody. The newspapers took a picture of you. I was in jail. And I see this picture of you chilling on the beach.
I shut it down. I shut that shit down, man. I'm in charge that day, so I was like, fuck it. I was the big guy. Now,
Listen, I
now
thought
I'm a fucking nobody.
I thought 101.5 was going to like contact you and tell you to like, dude, help out Weed Man. You know, I was listening one day. Dennis Malloy was talking about it.
Who?
Dennis Malloy. Yeah.
Who?
The fan didn't even want you.
Nobody wants me. Nobody wants me, Ed.
Yo, Trump hired
Nobody wants me.
Jeff Sessions above you.
Fuck that. Trump hired his son to get his fucking McDonald's. I like half your shirt and all. Maybe you could just, like have the DEA part. Yeah, because I might be trying to get a job there, I don't know if this would be good.
Dude, listen. This is how I feel, man. I was doing very well in California. Then you sent the DEA to come smash my Liberty Bell Temple.
Because I wanted you back in Jersey.
But that's not fair, man. I was doing well. I was making money. I was growing a whole lot of weed. Listen, I was even sending you roaches in the mail.
That was you?
Yeah,
Nice.
It was me. Yeah, you know it was me.
Well, I wasn't sure. They weren't addressed.
I wasn't sure who was confiscating them. I wasn't sure if you were getting them or the security detail was getting them.
I should have known they were yours. I should have known. The stamps were upside down.
That's what we do. Me and you get one of those ATCs. You use your political influence. You're a white guy. Bam. You can get the paperwork. And I can be like your secret grower or something. We put out a Weed Man brand. We can get pictures together, stuff like that. We want some Jersey Weed Man weed.
I like the Russians in, right? That's how Don got the fucking presidency, right? You know, right?
I'm not doing no Russians, though.
If you can go better than them.
No Russians. But I don't know, man. Look at the ships, man. Ships look full of merchandise and stuff.
Ships? What the
Yeah.
fuck are you talking about,
It's
Ed?
the port, man. Well, they're shipping
It's a Star Wars movie.
It's shipping containers.
That's a Star Wars movie. Look at that
This is
fucking
the
thing.
port. You're going to get the hood, man.
Not the white one with little two eyes, right? Hey. We can't do that KK shit up here.
Come on, me and you team up on some real legalization type thing. Listen, I'm running for state assembly. Can I get your endorsement? I'm running for state assembly in the 15th district, right? So one of the things that I'm going to be promoting, first of all, this bail reform shit, I'm really talking about repealing that. I'm running for the 15th district state assembly seat.
Speaking of seat, I got one over here for you, Ed. There's a junk pile over there. Look for a chair. You'll see it. It's right next to the condoms. And the 2 dime bags. They're empty. And I think that's a heroin needle. I don't know what they look like. Oh my God, look at these. The Weed Man. Bunch of potheads come to these beaches, huh?
Yeah, but they should have at least threw the bag away, man. Who cares if they come? Like, this is a great beach to come and smoke weed by yourself. I like coming here. I didn't know you came here.
I like the Star Wars guys.
Not Star Wars.
Yeah.
Those are container
Pew,
haulers.
pew, pew, pew. Star Wars, man. What do they call them things? Wow, look at this donut. It's so donutty.
You think that should have been illegal, man? How you feel? How you feeling right now? Feeling good?
Star Wars. Watch out! Watch out! Woo, 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 woo.
But there was a plane flying by a little while ago with a sign hanging out. I couldn't see what it said though.
No, that was a Millennium Falcon.
Nah, man.
Don't lie to me. That was a Millennium Falcon.
It said something about "What's up, Christy?" and Weed Man. I think that's what it said. Yo, there's a drone right there, like spying on us. Yeah, best man joint.
Where? What are you talking?
There's a drone.
Oh, right there. Nah, that's the Millennium, and yeah, that's the Falcon thing, man, from Star Wars.
You're tripping. Smoke this.
All right, I gotta go. Okay, I'm already late. I got a protest. I gotta go.
God, no.
Bye. Bye.
I don't know why you say
Gosh.
goodbye. I say hello. Well, when one door opens, whatever. Can you hear me? Oh, I'm backstage. I'm also backstage. My mic's working.
Yep. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you
Let me
hear
shut the
me?
door. It's loud in here. Hold on. Yeah. So Jim, the other day I said something really dumb.
Like what?
I said that.
Okay, wait. Let me get it all at once. You're speaking about as slow as Lawrence O'Donnell does on MSNBC.
I said something really dumb because
Where?
I was distraught.
Two-
Right here, live on this radio, on this
Yeah.
podcast, I said something dumb.
You got to tell me, man.
I said, I'm not doing this list anymore.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, I was just going through all kinds of different emotions. I still am.
Yeah, I bet.
But this list is very important, and it's what drives me. And it was a really good suggestion to stop the list at home grow, but, you know, what are we going to do? If somebody dies after that, we're just not going to remember them. And I want to remember
Well,
Wayne.
you know, it could be like a once a month at every podcast we do or something at that point. You know, you got to level it off, dude.
Yeah, I don't mind doing the list. I just it's just hurtful. It's so
I
much
don't
more
mind
hurtful.
either. Yeah, but you know, it's like that you added Wayne's name, you know, and it was not just popped in at the end, that you could see the list coming. We could read the names along with you and even a couple of steps ahead. And then you get to the names, and then the end of the list came up and you had to get it together enough to put his name in there, you know, and that was like, that was very sad to see. You know? It's like, what the fuck, man? It's the cycle of life. It's the part that sucks. I don't know what else to say, you know? It's the penalty, too. The longer you live, the more you get to watch people die that you give a fuck about. But that's why people that know me well enough know that when I say I have an insurance policy, I don't have a life insurance policy, you know. I have Medicaid, so it's not an insurance policy, but I try not to be that guy going, I wish I'd seen him or her more often. I don't want to be that guy at a funeral that wonders why I didn't stay in touch better or something like that, because I get what I deserve at that point, you know, and that's where it all equals out. So for the really important stuff, especially the closer to the core family and people in my life it gets, I need to get it right, you know, and then that's one less issue, one less bag with the baggage that develops, you know. That's the way I say.
Yeah, I'm going to go through some old clips of Wayne at the State House.
Yeah, there's a few, huh?
There's quite a few, and Facebook took a lot of them down, but I downloaded all of them.
Good. Yeah,
The problem is Facebook muted some of them because we had music that was not.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So some of them are. Yeah, so I got podcasts, but it's muted. I'm just like, oh. But the other day I had Wayne singing to Sarah. Singing the song Sarah to Sarah in Kansas. That was great.
That is pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you want to laugh, just find an old video of Wayne and he'll make you laugh.
There's plenty of that to be found.
Plenty of videos of him to make you laugh.
A few laughs and a lot of holy shits and a couple of what the fucks thrown in too, you know?
Yeah, it was all there. It was all there.
So I talked to Brian. That was a long day. Brian Cummings. That was a long day for him.
Yeah.
It was a real long day. I talked to him for a while.
It's a long day for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, him physically.
Physically, yeah.
Yeah, he knows that he needs to get hand controls on his car. He's on that. He had to stop a couple of times, and, you know, I'm glad he freaking made it.
Yeah, I'm glad to see him. I was glad to see a lot of the people there, everyone there. Under the circumstances, whatever, I still loved seeing everyone there. It was great to see you all. I hope to see you all on the 21st because let's send Wayne off the right way. Foot-long blunts, foot-long joints. Let's do it right. You know, like we used to. You don't want to miss this one.
No.
We'll have remote access. So if you can't make it, if you're in another state and you want to take part, just hit me up. I'll send you the link, and you'll be on the huge screen here.
There you go.
Sound system here. There's a huge projector screen here, and you'll be larger than life giving your testimony. And we want to hear it. We want to hear stories. If you have a story about Wayne, we want to hear them. I heard a lot of stories that I didn't know, and I like
Yeah,
hearing.
that's where stories go to be told.
Oh, wow. What the? Really, Johnny? You got to go there? Wow. Wow. Did you see what he said?
Yeah.
You can't spell fuck without CK.
Yeah. Funny thing is, he spelled it what? F-U-K, F-U-Q or something?
Okay, terrific.
Which is funny. Ironic, you know?
Yeah, F-U-K-K. He didn't spell it with the CK. He spelled it KK.
But he was the CK. So
He was CK spelling the KK.
right, but in effect, it all works out to being the original, you know? Fornication under consent of king.
You eat it.
Yeah.
I was yelling that at the funeral. I was literally going, "You eat it," and then I think Mike in the back said, "You eat it." I said, "No, you eat it." He said, "You eat it." I said, "No, you eat it."
That can go on for a long time, right?
I wanted it to go on for a while.
Oh, where is it?
Yeah,
For my little smoking device here, and I don't know where you are. I just had it.
but I'm not going to be a little bitch, Wayne. I'm going to continue reading the list.
Okay, sorry about
I
that.
can have Wayne on this list. I'm going to read it, and we're going to remember Wayne every day, every podcast. Wayne's going to be on this podcast, and we're going to talk about him. How can we not? He read this list with me for years. He read this list with me. I think he started the list with me when we started this list in Trenton, right?
Yeah,
And I believe he was there.
I don't really remember the beginning. It just all of a sudden was.
Yeah, I don't even remember how it started. I don't even. Sabina Rose was the second name on the list, so it started with Sabina at some point.
Well, that's like it's 12, 13 years ago. 12. maybe.
Yeah, man. Oh wow.
Yeah. Trying to figure it out. Yeah, that would have been probably 13 years ago. I don't know. Did you read Susan's thing she posted on the 8th about the day her mom died 35 years ago?
What did it say?
Oh, no. You want to read that yourself.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, you could read it out on it. Actually, it's something people should know. Yeah, it was, she posted it, and I think, I don't know if I shared it or not. But, you know, she had 29 years of using opiates for pain. And this is where it began, you know, a ride with her family that it's really something. Tell me if you find it.
On Susan's page?
Yeah, it should be. Let me look at my own thing.
I'm seeing a lot of little kitties.
I think I probably share. I usually can't do this so well on my phone as I do.
Kitties, puppies.
Yeah, and you know, she had her best friend cat. She had it for 16 years. She had two, but one. And you know, she didn't go to Wayne, and she was real hurt by the suddenness of Wayne because they were apparently pretty close, you know, within certain spheres. And she really loved how he helped take care of not just her but other people when he could. And she really would have wanted to made it up to Tuttle's. but her cat was going to die, and she didn't want to miss that. That was that process working out. But it was the description of that. I believe I can't actually talk and do this stuff.
Yeah, I found the one about Robin Williams, which is interesting. Robin, this is actually pretty important. Robin Williams took his own life because he was diagnosed with Lewy body dementia. Bruce Willis learned that his illness is frontotemporal dementia and Lewy body dementia. One of the hardest things to process is the slow change in the one you love. Becoming a completely different person, everything changes. It's called the long goodbye. Rapidly shrinking brain is how the doctor described it. The patient's brain slowly dies. They change physically and eventually forget who their loved ones are. And they become bedridden, unable to move, unable to drink or eat or talk. Yes, I had an aunt that suffered that way. It was absolutely devastating.
Yeah, I can't find this. I would have to.
I'm
I
going
could tell.
way down. Way
I
down
could.
here.
I could pretty well tell you the story though. And she certainly wouldn't mind because, helps understanding that you don't know all there is to know sometimes. Yeah, 35 years ago, they're on a ride. Her mother was driving, and an 18-wheeler swerved across the lane, but hit the mirror of the car. But that ended up sending it into a spin and then tumbling end over end. And she described that like she described it 100 times before. But what got me was that when it came to rest, the driver's seat was empty. And she had to crawl out a window, and she had like really bad shoulder damage and something else. And there was a guy standing a little ways away, looking down at the ground saying, she's dead. She walked over to see her mom, and I don't know what bifurcated or if there's a word like that, but I think it means something about the condition of the body after the accident. So she went and laid down on top of her, didn't know what to do, and she could still smell her perfume, and the aftermath and the post-traumatic stress that must have been involved. But anyway, the fact that it took opiates and along with cannabis, no doubt, for a lot of those 29 years, but that she used cannabis to get off opiates after 29 years, completely off. 19 months later, ran out of money, couldn't grow, didn't get satisfactory service from her to assembly people and senator. And they've changed since then, I guess, a little bit. But anyway, I went and brought her a care package because she said that she just has nothing left, feeling nothing. She felt like it at the end, Well, I told her, Facebook, I said, look, I don't really have a lot, but I certainly have something I could share with you, And she just said she's kind of like dead to the world and didn't want to see anybody, So I tried again the next day and said, listen, I could just do a give and go, text her. And earlier today, then when at 2:55, I heard my text sound, and it was her. She had her address, because I had said, give me your address. And but she said, well, it's a long way. It's a 35-minute drive if there's no traffic. Today that was not the case. But I had was about an 8, so pretty good indica. Maybe a little more, maybe not. But I just been to Ken's house with the stuff for, returning all the tent stuff that Michael Brennan didn't, he didn't make it through today. So I had to take it back and got that back in. Yeah, I got about 4 candies here. They're 30 milligrams each. I'm not having them. You want? Yes. So I passed them on as well. Plus, at the event in Moorestown, the table next to us had infused drinks and gummies, that were, it, the kind of gummies he had. He had low THC. When I say low, like 5 point some milligrams in a gummy. That's hardly any. But it had like 80 milligrams of CBD cannabidiol, And he was telling me, and I've heard other people as well, how very helpful that is, along with everything else you're doing with whatever your THC pain relieves or whatever. And no, it's not just THC that relieves pain. Apparently, well, I'm shocked. You think I'm really be done being educated about this? But anyway, I passed that on as a pretty good sized jar. And then I had, the balm that I make to make cookies with, or you can just dip your finger in it and eat it because it's the great coconut oil. And usually it's not made with leaf, it's made with the same good butter I try to smoke, And so it's really good balm. And I had an amount of that for her. But in the act, like of doing it, we're just talking on the front porch. It's closed in front porch, inside, lovely front porch. And I guess that's her husband, Joe, I would think. I don't recall. He didn't. Well, can I help you? Oh, yeah. Susan here. Oh, who's calling? Jim Miller. Oh, Jim. Oh, like that rang the bell. And, so she came out and we talked, but it was like, but wait, there's more. Here's some bud, But wait, there's more. There's some candies. Hold on. There's also gummies, And I wasn't doing it that absurdly, but it worked its way in over the long run. And honest to God, I could see the expression on her face changing. She was looking at me like I don't know, like not in a bad way, but in a like she doesn't quite like, is this shit real? What's going on?
You made her super happy. She was in shock.
But beyond that, when I went back out to go, I got to plug in the back. I want to follow the blue line on the car while I drive. Just try to, instead of kind of, and give a crap about knowing exactly where all the streets are and what they're. So I'm doing my GPS thing and plugging it in, and I hear Jim, and it is Joe, and he was coming out like I'd forgot something. But he was at the passenger side door, and he just reached in, like shake hands. So see that. But then he didn't let go real quick. He was like, I can't thank you enough. My God, I can't, and it was disproportionate to me. And then I thought about it. She goes out, stands on the front porch for about 15 minutes and comes in. And you notice the difference right away. From last hour, since she woke up, the entire day yesterday, the day before, the day before, the day before. And it's like he was looking at maybe a little light at the end of a tunnel out of nowhere. Like, I'm sorry, can I help you? Yeah, Susan here. And then 20 minutes later, and something happened, something good. So that's why I'm late.
Well, that's a good reason to be late.
Oh, yeah. And another one, it's funny. On the way back from Ken's, I could go right by the State House. That's just the easiest way to go off 295. So the two streets on the way out where there's lights, where the river is to your right, and then there's turning lanes there. But those two lights, there's usually people that are somewhere between panhandling, homeless, who knows what, And what I try to do every time they're driving out is have $1 or $2 bills ready, because I don't care what it is, They're out there. They're not stealing something from anybody. They're out there going whatever, Anyway, I got to a red light, and the guy that had just walked back, he didn't walk just back to turn around and make the walk again. As I came to a stop, he was over away from the road a bit where he had whatever meager stuff he had with him, like probably everything, And he was wiping his face down because apparently he was just sweating because it was hot, and he had actually a sweatshirt on with shorts and all. And it was like I had $2 for him, but he's going to miss it. So basically I crumbled it up, yelled out, "Hey, dude!" and crumbled up $2, and it made it into the turning lane with no cars there. And again, it was disproportionate. It was some sort of happy sound followed by hallelujah, thank you. And it's like, what, do I fucking throw a 20 out there? No, it was just. So anyway, I'm having a day where I'm feeling pretty good. I don't know, opportunities, and I'm ready for them that fit me. How many times in your life you wish you could help somebody and there's nothing you could do? So the times when you can do it for $2 or you can do it for a little bit of extra and a trip there and back. Like I told Kathy, I said, I won't enjoy these candies, and now I'll be thinking of Susan having a 30 milligram unbelievably tasty candy because I did have one.
Susan, I hope you're feeling good now.
Yeah.
I hope you're feeling relief.
And I suggested to her and see if she might want to get back in the saddle with, I would suggest between you and me, 4 patients to where we do something like play Scutari's plan for only the sickest and most hurt patients, blah, 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 blah. Right? Play that, discuss it, play it so they can see it, because, I can get all that to you. And then talk about it. And I'm telling you what, just with 4 patients, no more, it could be a pretty good conversation where you get a minute and a half worth of patient testimony, on the idea of a tightly controlled, strict pilot program. That would be the big subject, because he's going to be forced into letting go of the rope on keeping the homegirl bill from being heard in committee, but he doesn't want to let go of the rope. I think we both can see how he would try to say, well, instead of that, here's what I'm going to do, and try to pivot to that as opposed to the hearing still. That's what he's going to do, and we need protection from that.
Who are you talking about now? What's his name?
Ratari.
Brother,
Okay.
I got there's 15 people signed, did the QR code right at the table, and a couple more since.
Oh, that was amazing. That Singleton and Sweeney both came over to you at the table with your sign, talking about the Scutari blockade. Great activism there. That was amazing. That was absolutely amazing.
It didn't just pop up that way. I did spend the time making that specific sign, and I wish I had it in front of me now.
And you showed up.
But the fact that I had gone down to the Democrats' table to leave stuff for him there, and I did that, and then I turned around and there's Senator Andy Kim, so we had a really fun time with him, It's I didn't, what kind of hello? He gets hellos all day, unannounced, You look and you can see it's him, and it's not like there's people around him. And Andy Kim, I should have called him Senator Kim, but all I could think of doing is I said, "Hey man, do not disappear. I need to get a picture with you, because if I tell my better 2/3, and I think he even knew what that meant. That I saw you and didn't get a picture. She thinks you're great, and so do I, whatever." And then he was telling me how he supports cannabis reform, and then I said real quick, well, I'll tell you what needs to be done is rescheduling, descheduling, not just letting it sit there would be nice, So it was kind of fun to throw that out into the mix. But then when I'm back at the table, our table, And I hear it, oh, like that. And I look and, well, look, there's Senator Singleton. But he's like in front of the table, I'm alongside it. So I stepped right up, and hi, and he's seen me at committee hearings. He kind of knew. He saw me usher myself out of the committee with Herb Conaway chairing it. It was the Joint Health Committee. And, so that was kind of funny because we talked about that for a second. But then, I said, hey, listen, I don't mean to be moving you around, but could you please stand in front of the table? Because if you notice, and you know how I get, right? Well, I'll get that way again. If you look down there, as far as you can see, tent tops and food trucks, not one sign on the top front of any of those tents. And then you look all the way down there, same thing. There's 200 plus tents here. One sign on the front. Your sign. Ha! I'm like just having fun. And he just like loosened up. Whoever I say his handler, but it would be the person in charge, his chief of staff or whatever. I don't know who she was. But when I did that, Scott, who was tabling with me, Mike Brennan wasn't there at the time. I got my camera ready and he came around to take a picture of us. She got set up even closer and started snapping some pictures, like the kind of thing you might want to put up somewhere. But then when I was done with that, I looked up and that's when I went, holy shit, that's Steve Sweeney. He was like there waiting for him. So I took advantage of that. Now you've seen the picture of me and Steve Sweeney because I've put it up, standing together, and I got a shit-eating grin on. That was from 4 years ago when he couldn't get 21 votes and get the legalization bill passed legislatively. That's when the day they knew they had to kick it over to a referendum. So when I caught him out there, and my car got there at 6:30 that day, so I had the first car right outside, where you can't park it when you leave exit by the fountain and go straight out. I was the first car legally parked to the left. Scutari was up there. I had 4-sided sign both sides of the car and across the top. I was like really prepared. And nothing about him on there. And I remember distinctly all these 4 years, somebody take a picture of us. I forget, it was maybe one of his people, I think, just to get me out of there. And I just looked down and I said, hey, man, I'm glad we're both smiling for this picture, because we've got reason not to be. I said, I'm glad we're both smiling for this picture. And I turned around because they're going to snap it. And I said, because one day might do you a lot of good, with the emphasis on you, not me. Might do you a lot of good to have your picture with me. Ain't the other way around here, dude. I'm trying to help you out by getting this picture. That was the inference. I didn't say that. So I reminded him of that today. Saturday. And I reiterated that. And he's just like smiling like, holy shit, because we're getting ready to take another picture. And when I said one day this picture may do you a lot of good 4 years ago, and I reiterated that, then I said, looks like that day's now. So that's why my expression with him is one of, it looked like I was pretty stoned, my eyes, and I was, but it wasn't from smoke. It was from ingestibles, but quite a day. And then when I said to him, so Kerry did tell me, now Kerry's his person handling his campaign, because I got in touch with her. I want to know, if you were governor, would you make sure this bill got heard? Would you do what it took to get it heard? So when I mentioned Kerry's name, he all of a sudden realized I didn't just happen upon him there. I already did my homework on him, and I knew where he was. And he said, yeah, absolutely. He'd make sure it was heard. So, there's no point in discussing the weaker points of Steve Sweeney. It's like, okay, if he has one chance at all of ever becoming the governor, I want him in at least a little bit of a position, and we'll see how that works out, whatever. But that was an amazing day at the running into Singleton. And
Hi, Liz. Did you vote for Sweeney today?
I'm sorry?
Hi, Liz. Did you vote for Senator Sweeney today?
Yeah, that we'll see how that shapes out. That'll be
yeah.
that'll be interesting. But it was to have time with Andy Kim and Steve Sweeney and Senator Singleton, with Singleton under the sign helping to break the Scutari blockade, but with his head, he's a tall man, and I put the sign, how to put it, so Scutari was like right over his head, the CN Scutari, which is the Senate president, that he can't say, let me post my damn bill, but I can, I can start a whole petition about let him post the bill and do all that, so that we cross paths there, and he had time. I was in my element somehow, I mean, I'm not your normal person at that moment. And I think somehow my openness to be, I don't know how to put it. I mean, other people might be a little more step by step by the book, but the things that come out of my mouth, and they're quite appropriate almost every time. But I can gauge after decades of doing this sort of thing, really how it's being received. I mean, just you get used to if they're looking right at you, and if they so much as dart over your shoulder, how long was it? And I'm not like, it's not conscious. It's, you're left with just seeing how it goes. And when somebody's like right at you, and when you hesitate and they don't look around, they're waiting for more. Uh-oh, here I go. And then I start having fun. But with the explanation, it's when I do it over and over on a day like that, it got really good. And then I'd end up by taking my hand out and getting my card out and say, yeah, listen, and if you want to know why I'm so jazzed up about this here, you can just Google search me. You'll figure it out. And I realize how that sounds, but I Google search myself so I know what'll come up, and it's, opens the door. It's quicker than saying anything else. And then
gotta know your audience, and you just got to go do it.
And then there was the number of people that would stop and talk, and then we had 2 feet of tent top, or 2.5 over the edge of the table, so people could come in when it was, close when it was raining. So then you had a captive audience because it was drizzle, rain on and off.
Right.
But at that point, when I was there, I had queued up on my phone on YouTube the 1998 NBC footage of Cheryl Lemay getting arrested in Washington when she ate someone. It's like, here, just check this out, and then hold the camera so you can see it. And I'm kind of looking over the shoulder because if you can't hear it, I can explain. But I only do that because they get to the part where they zoom in, and if it was a TV, I'd be like that, And I'm like, I look like I'm 100 years younger, And I was like, it's like, and they do the same thing. It's sort of like they'd be looking at the phone, and I can't hear it going. They go, like they just look up and back. So what I do is when I'm doing that, I get on the other side and I try to, like look like that. So when they look up, I'm posing with the face like, yeah, right.
Poser.
Look at the road map that is my face now. What happened? Oh man. But all of it was for a purpose. I don't like the word manipulate, but I want people to think things that I put in their head, and they'll think it's their own fault.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But then,
Yep. Set the narrative.
if you do something like that, it is manipulating, but for something that we both want, and it was just fun too, being the old guy so proud of himself that he figured out how to get a QR code out there. And, and I said, yeah, I just lay in wait for somebody that hesitates so I can educate them real quick, or at least look like I'm doing it, and then shame them for being educated by me.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to be educated by me soon because I am going to be launching Liz Lights Up School Community in 3 weeks, 21 days. I've
Really?
built a community. I've got some education already on there. I've got partners, and We're going to go live in 3 weeks. Classes, courses, bud tender courses, all senior focused, all education.
Seniors being 55 and over, right?
Yep.
That's me. I joined AARP and everything.
You have to when you get to the Medicare portion of life. Like you, in order to get like a good Advantage plan, yeah, you have to be a member.
Oh, yeah.
I hope I didn't miss anything now.
And you have to take part in all the services that are offered by the county, whatever county you're in. There's disability services. If you're disabled, there's things that they can do that Medicaid can't do. Like come to your house and do certain things that Medicaid can't do.
Okay, yeah, I have Medicare. I don't have Medicaid, but and I'm in Middlesex County.
Yeah, I just went to a thing in Morris County about this disability stuff that's available, and it's pretty amazing. They do have, there is some money available. They didn't take all the money away yet. This year, we still have funding for this year. Maybe next year, maybe not.
Well, I'm still working full time. I have no choice. So,
How long? I mean, how long will that last? That you figure you will still have to be working? I don't mean to be getting personal. I'm not
no,
asking
absolutely.
how old you are. Just trying to get
probably until I die.
Yeah,
Oh,
probably right. You know, but you know, if you had to guess, when would retirement come for you? Yeah, 10 years?
When this business gets off the ground.
That's the right answer.
Yeah.
When this business gets off the ground, which, you know, I know it's going to take time, but I'm very hopeful it will happen a little quicker. I'm not charging seniors. I decided that, you know, while this is a private membership, seniors get in for free. And the dispensaries, the cultivators, you know, the brands, they can they can pay a monthly subscription, and with it they get free advertising, 4 free ads a month. They get 4 free reviews a month, interaction with the community, one-on-one, templates and all kinds of stuff like that. Workshops, events, they all get discounted pricing on events. Want to do workshops with them
Wow.
in 55 plus communities and assisted living with independent living. I am also, I actually went to see, I had my follow-up appointment, my breast cancer follow-up appointment today. And I was telling the PA about it, and she's like, this is absolutely genius. This is, you know, we need that. And then when I went over to get my lab work done, I had to go to the treatment area, and we were talking, and the girl who was doing it, we were talking about it, and she said, can you bring us a bunch of your business cards, because we get so many questions that we don't know the answers to. We have so many patients asking about the cannabis. So if you could bring your card, and we can pass it to these patients so that they can learn.
This is really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the right time, right place, and you're ready. You know, it's got to be pretty exciting, isn't it?
It is, and it's a little scary too. I mean, it's taken me a long time. I mean, I've been at this for about 9 months, and my ducks are finally in a row. You know, I have taken my time. I'm giving some gratis subscriptions to dispensaries, and all they have to do is provide me with their ads, and there are 4 products for review for the month, and that's it. So, you know, like my local dispensaries, and people that I have worked with that have really helped me out. I've actually partnered with the Cannabis Lady, partnered with Hamilton Farms, and a local dispensary in Highland Park, Blackburn Dispensary. And I have been working with Marjorie and Sam from Just a Woman Cannabis. So I'm hoping I'm hoping we can partner as well. And
Mad Hatter would love to do that. I'm sure we have a space here. Now, this would be an online course.
there's online courses. There are articles. Definitely I will hook you up with a free membership, both of you. And if Mad Hatter is interested in doing it, because they do let you host there, I would absolutely give them a gratis membership. And it would be gratis for the life of the membership.
We could host an event here. I mean, we have a really nice event space here. Maybe to get a membership drive. You can have a membership drive here or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Some education.
Yeah.
Senior education. I have classrooms, and what you do is I have different courses. I have cannabis basics, product reviews, meet and greet, bud tenders and beyond, and product information so far. And then in my cannabis basics, I have a senior guide to cannabis, frequently asked questions, why we celebrate 420 and 710. I got some fun stuff.
Yeah.
And myths versus facts, and cannabis for anxiety relief, senior medications and cannabis interactions, and cannabis anxiety relief guide so far.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Loving it.
Lefty, there's no way to have a sign so passing traffic. In other words, seniors, anything. In other words, seniors, whatever. Because the idea of something about seniors at a dispensary kind of gets seniors' attention.
Oh yeah.
Like a coming thing. I mean, I don't see that you have that capability there, though. But
Well, I'll tell you, I've also started a YouTube channel. I've got a couple of videos posted. It's Liz Lights Up. And I'm just being me. The way I'm talking to you is the way I do my videos. I don't edit them. What you see is what you get. You like me, you don't. That's okay.
That's the allure of it, though, I think. And especially, as a senior, but I've been on board all along, so I can't use my own experience, but that's what appeals to me. That's that whole, it's like Andy Mayberry,
Yes.
Yes. It is what it is. And you're very good at it.
Well, thank you.
I say that because it's not a lot of effort for you to do that. It's who you are. But so you're kind of combining the best of who you are that you can use doing this. And it's seniors is where it's at, because we're all getting older.
Oh God, yes, we are. And it's just you're on this journey with me.
That's right.
And I'm learning. I got to tell you something though. I put up 2 videos. One's a short. And it's welcome to Liz Lights Up, the Senior Cannabis Education Group. Nobody knows it's there. I've had 108 views. The algorithms are picking it up.
Good.
Nice.
Senior Cannabis Education.
Now, I know what that means. I know algorithms picking it up is a good thing, but over my head, it's how do you get algorithms to like you?
Special keyword, search engine optimization.
Yeah.
So
are there people that offer algorithm advice? That would be nice. In other words, if it's what do I have that I can trade you for you to algorithm me correctly?
Actually, there are people that specialize in just doing SEO strategies.
Yeah. So what do we have that they want that we can trade? Because I can't buy services, no money, but throughout my life, I got a guy or something,
Yeah.
it's for what do you, uh, because, for instance, having a change.org petition to to end the blockade on informational hearing for medical home grow bill 1393. It doesn't take off like some other things I've been associated with do, and it's like the picture for it. I tried it and had the word cannabis in there, and I don't think it even wanted to allow, and then I used a thing. It was like a sign at a thing, and it was exactly that about moving the bill, but it just said Bill S1393, so that when that shows up, the S1393 underneath it at the same time does refer to cannabis, but it didn't. It almost like it's like
It wouldn't let it. Yeah, it wouldn't let it. But they're
but
definitely lightening up on that.
It's getting signatures, but I think also people don't even understand what do you mean. It's not signatures for I'd like this to pass. It's not signatures for please support this bill. It's for support this bill being allowed its first hearing after 4.5 years of not being allowed a hearing. The first step in the bill becoming law. No, not for you. That's worse than an algorithm, isn't it? A Senate president kicked the shit out of an algorithm when it comes to being disruptive. Yeah.
But that's the things that'll block them too.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't have to learn about that if I know somebody that already knows about it. That's like I'm a carpenter. I'm not an auto mechanic. I got to know an auto mechanic, and
right.
We directly trade services, but over the course of a lot of years, so works the same way with knowledge,
Right.
Used to be I could give you grow advice 30 years ago. Now you put a conversation, I'll be in 16 people in a room somewhere, and I'm in the bottom 2 or 3 knowledge about growing.
Right.
I don't have to keep up. It's an explosive thing going on, But what you're doing is pretty much like you. So in the last 9 months, has there been a lot of backstepping, like going through a maze of sorts,
I've pivoted a few times like a little ballerina.
Yeah.
When I first started this whole idea, I just wanted to do a little marketing to make enough to support my weed habit. Honestly, because like I said, I have a full-time job, which I hate. And I have to, I gotta get out of there. So anyway, that's all I wanted to do, because I have a lot of experience in marketing and stuff. And as I started talking to people, the marketing I wanted to do was senior focused because there is nothing. And as I talked to people and started educating myself and seeing that, seniors are totally overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
And it's morphed into an entire private community for seniors, for seniors, for dispensaries, for the businesses, for the bud tenders, for the employees. And honestly, I'm loving it. I am having so much fun.
There's the key to it right there. If you got a job you don't like right now and you hate, and you got something that as you transition, that's going to start to do this.
Yeah.
And you'll be doing something more that you like. I did not like being a carpenter. It's hard being a carpenter physically,
Oh yeah.
And I when I worked for myself, it was different, but the times it was, and the time I spent not liking my job, not liking the ride to work, having rules like, okay, if I want to have a couple of beers, I want to not have any after 6 o'clock so that it's 12 hours between the alarm going off, and
yeah,
I hated it. But the whole thing, trying to change that trajectory of seniors. Uh, I don't know. I don't think it's so much being ignored. I don't know what the right word is. Just being invisible to people, maybe.
Yeah, overlooked.
Yeah, overlooked. There you
And
go.
the other
Overlooked,
thing,
yeah.
the other thing I'm going to be doing is I took this off the CRC. I went county by county for a list of participating providers for medical cards. And what I'm going to do is the old-fashioned way: mail them a flyer and maybe some business cards that they could put out for their patients.
I like it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be a process, but you got to be like on the back side of this now with your maybe a few. What'd you say, about 3 weeks or something? Is that what you
Yep.
said?
July 1st.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready. The site's ready. I'm going to put up some more content. I'm going to put up some more videos. I'm going to, not only doing product reviews, but a little just yip yapping. And then other things like, how to clean a one hitter. How do you clean your pipes? What's up with these filters? Do we really need them when rolling the joint? All these kind of things.
And in my mind, in my getting kind of high mind, I'm picturing the other end of that and picturing 3 or 4 rather seniors soaking all that up. Oh, look what you can do to clean,
And not only
little
that,
hacks for them, but the things that you can provide, the shortcuts, they don't have to figure nothing out for themselves.
yeah, and not only that, I want them to interact.
Yeah.
So how do do you use a one hitter? If so, how do you clean them? What do
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And I also want to run like a little contest. This is my first contest idea. How to repurpose a tin of pre-rolls. How to repurpose a doob tube, and craft them up. And let the community pick a winner, and then they'll get a swag bag sent by me of different merchandise.
You see, that's the kind of thing. And being a senior, I get to say it, I guess, even though I'm not really a senior. I'm going to be 73 in a couple of weeks, but I'm not really a senior. You
Gotcha.
Yeah. But I see that as being a workable thing because not in my world, but I can see people with a little extra free time on their hands with a purpose, and they're learning and then taking part, and you'll probably be able to tweak that a little bit all along the way. And it's really fun to live a little vicariously off of somebody else's effort, where I feel like I got a home team stake here or something. Because I'm a senior, but I sort of watched from when we first crossed paths. When you had this vision, and now it's 3 weeks away.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. Good for you.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm excited, and when I tell you I am having fun, I am not even kidding you. It is just such. It's just so
froze.
The other thing I'm going to be doing, the Last Prisoner Project, and the New Jersey Cannabis Chamber of Commerce. They're involved with something with that, and so with new dispensaries coming up from whatever funding they get, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But for those people, these are people that have suffered through the system. I'm going to offer them 6 months of free membership to get them on their feet.
Good.
I want to give back. It's it's not about making a ton of money. It's about making a difference.
Yeah, well, there's a sweet spot between the two.
Oh yeah,
I mean, there is, and it's different for different people, but you'll find yours, and it's going to be really registered towards the side that I appreciate people doing it that way.
Yeah. Like I said, the gratis, I would love for Mad Hatter to I would love for Mad Hatter to partner with us, or me rather. I'm a solopreneur.
There you go. Well, that's good.
I am we.
Yeah, well, that the vision stays strong and it doesn't dilute, and when you are partners with somebody, not you, but when one partners with somebody, if you can't approach it like maybe that's a better idea than mine, and some people have a natural defensive system, you almost want to argue a point rather than
Yeah.
hear as much as you can. And I've learned to do that. And it really stinks sometimes. It's sort of like, oh man, I was blissfully ignorant before. Now I'm finding out that I'm not as smart as I think I am. When somebody with less, okay, that makes sense. And
Yeah.
but all to a good end. This the first time the CMMJ did a thing at I don't know what city or community it was. It was in South Jersey somewhere. And I was shocked at the interest, and this was it must have been right when the program started, give or take, somewhere around there. It might have even been just before. I honestly don't remember.
And where were you?
We were in a senior center where there was about 35, 38 really engaged people leaning in, asking really brilliant directional questions, and I was just surprised.
Yeah.
But they don't show themselves. We don't show ourselves. I mean, I do.
Because there's still a stigma. Even I feel it sometimes. Like, like I said earlier, you have to know your audience. And there are some people that, I know would look funny at me that, I'm having, I have a cannabis business. And I'll still tell them, but I still feel funny about it. Not everybody. There are just certain people. And it's still there. I mean, it's embedded.
Yeah, it's getting getting better as it goes, especially now. I mean, I don't know if it's gaining a little more upward and outward on a graph projection.
Yeah.
But it's the seniors amongst themselves, especially when they're in a senior environment in their life. Community. Yeah. That's really, they're sharing stuff they're finding out everywhere else. But you're going to really get your finger on the pulse of things here.
Yes. And I'm also for the bud tenders, there's also going to be education on how to talk with seniors, see what they're looking for, and just how to engage with them. So things like that are in for the bud tenders, plus the senior support specialist, certification. I'm trying to get it accredited from someone. I went to the Cannabis Chamber of Commerce and they were looking into it for me. And you mentioned senior centers, and that's another place where I want to go. Local town centers, those senior centers where people come for lunch and, bingo and, and I can bring a dispensary with me, if I'm doing one in, New Brunswick, I can, if I'm partnered with one of the dispensaries in New Brunswick, they can come with me and, they can talk about it. I can talk about it and, really engage the community. Like you get a dispensary coming with you in a workshop, and the seniors are more loyal, and they spend more money, and they're also big word of mouth. So these are things that are overlooked right now. About 5% of dispensaries, businesses, marketing is focused on seniors. 5%. and they're growing by 35% a year. And they are actually right now the biggest growing demographic in the state.
I can see that pretty easy.
We have a question from Inshallah. Sativa Cross is about strains. Well, yeah, we want home grow for this. One of the specific reasons we want home grow is certain patients need certain strains that they don't have in New Jersey, like Durban poison for epilepsy, or for diabetes, grapefruit for some epileptic patients, like grapefruit for their seizures. So they don't have grapefruit. They have grapefruit derivatives. They have grapefruit crosses. But there's a patient that I know that needs grapefruit, straight grapefruit. She can't get that here. So that's why.
But they find something they like at a dispensary. Now, I haven't really been to a dispensary in a while, between you, me, and everybody else. You would think that when you find something you like at a dispensary and the next time you go there, it'll be there. It won't necessarily. They don't seem to be able to. How is that a Mad Hatter? Is it hard to keep something?
You're breaking up. I can't hear you.
Okay.
There you go.
It used to be that you'd find something that worked good, and it'd be like 3-4 weeks. You'd go back and they wouldn't have any that day, or wouldn't have it. But is there regularity when somebody finds something they want at a dispensary, not just Mad Hatter? What are the chances of it being there the next time they go? I know for some things it might be yes, some things no, but there's a lot of confusion now. They got, I'm here, what do I get?
Yeah, the manufacturer usually runs out. That's the reason why dispensaries don't have it. The manufacturer.
That would make sense. Yeah, and the thing is, on the manufacturer, why they run out? Well, then that would be between them and CRC, because they're going to be saying, well, if we did this or whatever, we can't, and maybe it comes down to if they didn't have to just trash stuff at a certain point because shelf life, and that. Is there no way to keep stuff from being destroyed that could be made into topicals or something,
And this plant is much more spiritual than most realize. Capitalization is ruining the true medicinal purpose, and you're absolutely right.
100%.
They bastardize this plant. There's mold in this plant. They don't treat it with respect in New Jersey. It's treated as a money grab in New Jersey.
Well, yeah. The joke for me is, all through the 90s, with it just being me and Cheryl and nobody else really at all in New Jersey till like 99. Weird. But we felt like gatekeepers, figuring Cheryl's not going to live long enough. But it was cool being the gatekeeper, because we thought, well, the bandwagon's going to come one day. And when the bandwagon came, they all jumped out for the green rush. What patients? Holy crap, the bandwagon wasn't worth shit. What kind of, after all this, seriously, to have a home grow bill ready to be heard in committee for 4 years and one man blocking it, and there's no outcry. Well, from the Senate side, if you outcry, Scutari, the one whose thumb you're under for your positions, committee and whatever, he's like the boss man. They can only go so far. And I am stunned by the lack of really stunned outcry by, you mean it's been prevented from just being heard? Yes, the senators are not getting the information that they would get from a hearing. And then I got to explain to people, it's not like reading a book and you can read it later. The hearing is where people don't seem to understand. There's a lot of people that don't want that. People that do want it. There's also people on both sides of it on the committee. So to be able to have people come give testimony and somebody that can hold their feet to the fire from the other side. Where'd you get that information? I'll do it. It isn't just a walkthrough. And then what happens is that's where senators get information from other senators, where that all starts to spiderweb from a committee hearing. You take away that hearing and have the gall to say the reason there hasn't been a hearing is there's no will in the Senate to pass this bill. And my response, of course, is, well, then good, they're doing their jobs. There shouldn't be a willingness to pass the bill they haven't heard yet. See, that's not the way it works. First, you hear the bill, you see what the testimony was and what you think, and then that's when you give an opinion. So the idea to say that, well, there's no will, that's why we're not having the informational hearing, is as cart before the horse as you can possibly get. And it's worked to run out the bill one session, over half a session, another whole 2-year session, and it's about to run out another 2-year session, not getting a hearing? No.
There's no will. There's no will in the Senate
Well,
for
the thing is, it boils down to this. That's our fault. And I don't mean you and me. I mean, okay, it has to be my fault. I've made it my main point all this time, and it hasn't been done. That's on me. I've been arrested 3 times on purpose to get shit done. It looks like it's heading for a 4th. And because the non-negotiable nature of this with the Senate president, you know, like, no, I don't have to talk about it. And then if I do have to talk about it, like when Brianna Van Nosy sort of blindsided me with one call-in question, and it was about this. This is like 4 years ago. Yeah, and he said, well, no, not really for legalization. We'd have to get the program off the ground. But for medical, I can see that happening one day. I mean, really like a tightly controlled pilot program with only the sickest, and most hurt patients. Seriously, he said that. Okay, here's what happens. When the program's up, are they going to hear stuff like, I'd like to be in the pilot program? I'm sorry, what's your affliction? Cancer? What stage? 2. Now come back when you're stage 3.
You ain't sick enough.
Yeah. There's 4 stages. We divided them in half. Who we legislators. No, that's not how it's going to work. So what happens is he's getting close to, and I'm going to do everything I can. I mean, I'm going to have to be more like I used to be than ever. But to force the discussion where he has to drop the rope on it, but we also have to already be prepared to say, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, he hasn't announced he had to say something. Years later, I think he did that. But if he said we've been talking about 4 years, I call bullshit. You've been talking about it for 4 years and got nothing but maybe a pilot program with only the really screwed up people in it. That's not going to fly. So anyway, as I postulated to Lefty, we're going to probably start getting patients on something like this for recording purposes, where we might be able to get 4 patients on at a time and play the video of Scutari explaining only the sick, the most hurt, and then he started to how bad. I mean, he was winging it. He got caught. But there's a video, like 46 seconds or whatever, of the video part of that. So to be able to explain that to 4 patients and then say, explain it, and then they watch it, and then we talk, and it gets personal with patients, and out of that conversation, Lefty's pretty good at getting little 10 seconds, 12 seconds here and there, where it takes together. It's like what you're talking about, Liz. It's like, one take stuff, and you get it through, and it becomes more real for that effort somehow.
Yeah.
So to do that and have that ready and start getting 4 patients at a time, announcing Scutari's as of yet announced plan by him. Yeah, but I'm scooping him on this one, man. I'm putting it out there. This is his plan. He is going to have to let this bill be heard, but before he does, he's going to try to pull this bullshit, So if we can get a couple of 4 patient panels to react and show some sorrow, some anger, whatever,
Set it up.
And basically, I like to remind them, you're the hurt party. It's like you're allowed to be angry, but you're allowed to be hurt too. In other words, you're allowed to express.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, but that we are going to need ready before Scooter. I call him that Scooter Scootari. I really want to saddle him with that nickname. I'd like to be named Scoot Miller. Come on, I could have been a quarterback or something, you know. Scootari. Sees a patient, he fakes left, and he scoots around to the right. You know, like the wheelchair can't turn as quick as he can. You know.
Oh, gee, yeah.
Liz, I want to thank you for joining us today. That was a great surprise popping in. I want you to pop in anytime you want.
Oh, absolutely.
Go to lizlightsup.com, lizlightsup.com.
Aw, thank you.
See what's going on over there.
We need you to pop in because you can't say, well, I'm doing this in 3 weeks. And then 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, we're wondering. Don't make us wonder. Pop in.
Yeah, we'll see.
I won't. And yeah, I definitely want to work with Mad Hatter.
Yep.
And Jim, send me your email and I will send you an invite.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Lefty, I already sent yours.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
I can't wait to hear your feedback.
I want to thank Mad Hatter for having us here. We have an event coming up for Wayne Barini, the Barini Bash, the CK party, Wayne's Memorial on the 21st. It starts at 2:22, and then there's bare knuckle after that. So we're going to party all night. The 22nd is Puff and Paint. Puff and Paint here on the 22nd. It's a Pride Month, and it's a Pride themed Puff and Paint. And there's also Cannabis Church Sunday morning on the 22nd. So you got Sunday morning church, Puff and Paint in the afternoon, and you got Wayne the night before. So we got a big weekend coming up. Yeah, big weekend. Yeah, you're welcome for the explanation. Yeah, there's a lot to explain here. Believe me. CMMNJ, thank you. UFCW, the Local 152, Local 360. They're a great organization, great union. Arlo Glass, OprahMachine.com, and SativaCross.org, where you can donate to our 501c3. And here's our list, which I'm going to read this every week. I'm not going to stop reading this list. I know I was upset the other day when I said, I'm not reading this list anymore. Well, I'm going to keep reading this list.
For the uninitiated, it's a list of people who took part and didn't get to the finish line in their lifetime, but they helped others along the way, and they're part of the fabric of everything we are. So it's much like the World Trade Center. Once a year, everybody gets their name read, just so they don't disappear. Their names, no long stories, just names, and they get heard. And now we know who they are. So it's like taking punches internally. But Lefty and me both like to feel like shit with everybody else at one point. So
yeah, sorry, Liz. This may make you feel like shit because it's going to make me feel like shit today.
Oh, I've heard it before. Yeah.
It starts with Cheryl Miller. The reason why Cheryl Miller is on this list is because she's the ground zero patient in New Jersey. I don't think we'd have medical cannabis without Cheryl Miller. And the way she got herself arrested and her and Jim went around and you know the story. I mean, it was just amazing activism, what she did. And Jim. And it was just...
I was scared. I did everything because I was scared.
You were scared of Cheryl?
Should be no medals for being scared. Thank you.
You were scared of Cheryl kicking your ass.
I was scared that I'd look back one day and say, why didn't I try harder? And I don't get to say that.
Yeah, you know what? I love that because, yeah, exactly.
My insurance policy, and I cash it in every day.
Yep. Sabina Rose. And I want to give you a little story about Sabina Rose. She was a 15-month-old baby who died from a 25-hour seizure.
Oh.
Waiting for her cannabis card in the mail. And putting her parents in a rough position. So they went the legal route, waited for the cannabis card. At the time, Governor Christie's regulations stated that you had to go to a psychologist. So they sent a 1-year-old baby to a psychologist, which took a couple of months to find one, first of all. Then they found one. And I wonder what they said. I wonder what that conversation went like.
Yeah.
Goo goo gaga?
Yeah, goo goo gaga.
Okay. Spin the mobile this way and see if the child reacts spinning it the other way. What?
So that was time that she didn't have. That was a quarter of her life.
Mm-hmm.
And waiting for a psychologist to go in. She didn't have the time. She didn't have time. She ran out of time.
When legislators make medical decisions for people like that.
Yes. Yes. Governor Christie made that decision
Well, yeah, but the law itself
and the law. And it was
had to have certain guide, and
Come on.
you
A
start
1-year-old
throwing the-
going to a psychologist. Think about that. Come on.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, please. And then she's dead. So obviously you did the wrong friggin' thing, government, as usual. So I guess it's going to be angry today. Angry list today.
Fine.
Diane, who came to the State House many times, which she had ALS.
Yep.
And ALS is
That's
There's
nasty.
you're a
two
prisoner. Yeah.
two videos of her. One, crying and pleading with a committee, and then also one with her after a positive committee finding or vote. They were back for a press conference, and she was there, and we are family, and she was like, and her husband Joe was standing right behind her, and wasn't enough. She didn't make it.
Look at all the people tapping out. We had 7 people on. Now there's like 2. Tapping out. Sorry, it's so sad. Wait, there's more.
Life. It's
What?
life and
More.
it's real.
More
It was
people on this list that died and suffered waiting for cannabis. Here, you want to hear more? Cindy May. She was a little girl, a little baby. Gracie, Marie, Jack, Joan Ford. She wrote the book about cannabis in the 40s. Growing up in the 40s with epilepsy. Actually, it wasn't about cannabis. I'm sorry. Joan Ford was not. The book was about epilepsy. Growing up with epilepsy in the 40s, and how they used to throw holy water on Joan, thinking that she was possessed by the devil. My fellow Christians out there doing dumb shit again, throwing holy water on a girl having seizures. Come on, man.
Well, that was a long time ago. They straightened up their act.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I knew I could make you laugh during the list. That's
Yeah.
never
Christians
happened
straighten
before.
themselves out. Hey, I'm a Christian, and I'm just as proud. And I tell you what, that's not what I would do. That's not what I would do.
Who else you got?
I got more. Wait, there's more. You got Randy Robertson. They gave Randy Robertson the Whipple procedure before they gave him cannabis. You know what the Whipple procedure is?
Yes, I do. My mother was scheduled to have one, but they couldn't do it. Yep, back in the 1980, actually. That's a monster of a procedure.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, yeah.
Polly, Bill, Chad, Jeremy, Colette, Matt, Troy, Russ, Roger Barber.
That one hurts. They all hurt.
Gave Roger his first dab. That was fun.
What's a guy do when he has a daughter, a special needs daughter, and cannabis is good, but he's also a lawyer? He goes to bat and he does everything it takes, and not presto changeo took a toll on him, but New Jersey became the first state in the country, not Colorado, not California, New Jersey, to allow a Schedule 1 substance on school grounds, cannabis.
Thank you, Roger.
Yeah, so he got that done.
Thank you, Roger. And he's smoking with Wayne because they knew each other. Roger and Wayne knew each other. They're smoking. They're definitely smoking together. Jay Oleto, Ella, Hattie. Hattie was my grandma, and I used to bring a vape bag down to my grandma. And hey, how you doing? What's going on, buddy? Come on in. We're having a cannabis church on Sunday. Yeah, come back on Sunday. You want to smoke a joint? No. We have a cannabis church here.
It used to be a different business, so people occasionally come in like,
Yeah, so come back on.
what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
smoke weed and worship God on Sunday.
There's just it's, I don't want a funny backstory during the list. It's like, why don't we have somebody tell jokes next? 'Cause see, sadly enough, it's kind of between him and me and anybody else that realizes. But your job is to get the list out now, and one day we'll explain.
Yeah, we're not going to explain that. If you
No,
know,
we're not. I'm trying to
know,
shut
you
you,
know.
up, man. Let me do it.
if you know, you know. Wayne's laughing right now.
Bellowing, probably.
Wayne is laughing so hard right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hattie, I used to bring her a vape bag and fill it up with cannabis, bring it down to her. Say, Grandma, I'm going to test your breathing now, and test her breathing. And she liked it. And she was asking for it after her. If I didn't do that first, she'd be like, where's my vape bag? Where's my vape? Here, Graham, here, take it easy. It was helpful. It helped her out. She was in a lot of pain. It was helpful. Jackie Rickard, Anthony, Jake, Armando, who died from tailbone cancer. Tailbone cancer. I never heard of tailbone cancer. What the heck is that?
I don't know. Doesn't
Yeah.
sound.
No.
I wonder if a pilot program would allow tailbone cancer. We'll see. Okay.
Cancer
Let me make a note about that.
I'm going to look that up, actually. I've never actually did a deep dive on tailbone cancer. I'm going to do that later. I'm going to do that because I always say that, and I don't really know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to learn about tailbone cancer. Felicia, Lynn, Dan, Sean, Joyce, Lori, Frank, Brian, Flo, Carl, Thorne Peters, who would be telling us all, grow it anyway. These laws mean nothing. No mens rea. That's what he would say. No mens rea. There's no guilty mind. There's no victim.
This is the list. Yeah.
There's no victim when you grow cannabis or use cannabis. There's no victim. Who's the victim? And he used to his analogy was when they used to tell black people they couldn't marry each other. You couldn't marry a black person and a white person couldn't get married together. Who are they hurting? Who's the victim? No mens rea. When Rosa Parks was on the bus, was Rosa Parks wrong, or was the bus wrong? Or was the government wrong? Rosa Parks was breaking the law, but was the law wrong? Why do we need that law?
Mm-hmm.
Why do we need laws to say it's okay for a black person and a white person to marry? We needed a law. Why? Why do we need that? God gave us these things. We don't need a law to say that we need that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was Thorne Peters. No mens rea. I'll never forget. If you ever do a deep dive on somebody, watch one of his videos. They were all the same, and they were all wonderful. Thorne Peters from Tennessee. They killed him in jail. They actually killed him in jail. Frank, Lorraine, Terry, Charlotte Figgy, Cher, Jay Bird, Michael, Marley, Colette, Brendan, Red, Rico, Lou, Becky, LaWanda, Chip, Paul, Lisa, that's Sue's sister, Marcus, Gary, Julia, and I can't believe this name is on this list.
Wayne.
Wayne Barini.
He's heard that list read as long as anybody's heard it read.
Jeez.
Been there since the beginning.
Man. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Can't believe it.
Well, I don't know. I draw some inspiration off that when I
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I'm trying to direct myself. It's like it's got to stop. So we got to stop it. You know. for me, that goes through the bill being heard. I'm not sure I'm going to stick it out through whether it gets voted on and gets voted on. That's what the freaking bandwagon's for, you know.
The old bandwagon.
I just want to deliver it to the doorstep of the hearing. I'm the opposite of a tireless advocate.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired. Jeff Oakes is the last name on our list. Jeff Oakes used to go to cancer meetings, stage 4 cancer. Sometimes he'd have a chemo bag strapped to his hip. He was so sick,
Oh,
and he would speak to these councils who would ban medical cannabis in their town. He would get so mad,
Yeah.
and he'd be so passionate, and he'd speak from the heart, and it was just the most amazing thing to see.
I believe it. I believe it.
You don't see that too often. That's why he's on the end. Cheryl starts the bookend, and Jeff is the other bookend.
Very similar, and yet not at all the same.
Yeah,
That's possible.
yeah, exactly.
It really is.
Yeah,
That's so sweet, and it's good to remember.
Yeah, sure it is. I got an insurance policy that allows me to do that too.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. So the Ode to Remembrance, originally written in memoriam to from Australia, French, British, and Americans who lost their lives in World War One.
Hmm.
But it's a different war, sort of. And the surprise one day was after reading this that Joanne Zito called in, and it was the last podcast of a year, and it was raining. And she said, "Did you know that that's engraved over a door into the War Memorial Auditorium? It's literally written in stone. What we were reading often had no idea. Right around the corner from where
Wow.
the podcast, the State House is. So after that, we went out there, getting further wet, and looked up, and there it was, the fourth stanza. There's several. So I think Lefty combines it with the third one, because a phrase that I've never heard before, but I think is so simple and perfect, is they fell with their faces to the foe.
Thanks, everybody. See you next time. See you Thursday.
Yes, have a great weekend.
It's
Thank
a-
you
it's
so
a-
much.
Do the ode. Don't go till the ode's over.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
That's
Thank
the
you.
fourth verse.